Day 23 in lockdown. Keeping it safe, keeping it real. Might even go out to pick up a prescription today with my wife, but I intend to be masked up, walking several meters away, and just really getting the exercise, quite honestly, because I could do with the exercise. Health-wise, a couple of sniffles, the occasional cough, but not serious and certainly not dry. Lung capacity sort of gonna be better after I've had my walk. So that all seems pretty fair. Blood sugar's just been down a bit low, so hence a can of Coke. But probably good to get out and get some exercise today. Few things I just want to say on this rather nice day in Great Yarmouth. It's just looking out the window there, quite bright. Some washing machines, been doing a load more washing. Yeah, you don't stop doing washing even when you're locked down. Perhaps you could just wear the same clothes forever and ever and ever. See how long before they would, pardon me, stand up on their own. But what am I going to say today? Well, Keir Starmer. Dear old Keir. You're quite a character, aren't you, Keir? Officially, I'm still a member of the Labour Party because I'm appealing my expulsion to somebody I'm sure you know really well, Keir. Jenny Formby. I've also got a subject access request going through with Labour because I want every bit of paperwork they have on me. I would also like to find out as much as I can about people who apparently reported me for anti-Semitism. And that's what Keir's banging on about. Not only is he really, really happy that people voted for him and he's now Labour leader, Keir's banging on about wanting to get rid of all those anti-Semites in the Labour Party. Those of us who think that what Israel is doing in Palestine is a war crime, that obviously makes us anti-Semites. Speaking out against Zionism and against anything Israel does to the Palestinian people, imagine how they're going to cope with COVID-19. But speaking out against that, obviously got to be an anti-Semite, haven't I, Keir? Yeah? You and everybody now in the Labour Party who is quite happy to have everything controlled by the Board of Deputies. Look, don't want to go on about that for too long. I just want to really talk about a couple of things. There's a brilliant documentary going around called Killing the NHS by John Pilger. As we fail to get the total number of ventilators that we need, remember, there was a operation carried out by the government in 2016. Pardon me, Coke is fizzy. It was called Operation Cygnus. And as John reminds us, and everyone who's been just reading the press and whatever should know, Cygnus was designed to check the NHS's capacity to cope with a major pandemic. It was carried out throughout the NHS, and it was revealed that, whatever the pandemic was from, the British people and the NHS would not be able to cope. Yeah, it highlighted loads and loads of shortages and failings. It highlighted that even then we didn't have enough ventilators and stuff like that. And we really ought to get our act in gear and get prepared because, statistically speaking, one's always been on the way. Well, guess what? You guessed it. Yeah. Couldn't do it then. Tories wouldn't give it the money. Yeah. And couldn't do it afterwards. Tories were absolutely insistent that the NHS be cut back. Why was it being cut back? Readied for privatisation, because that's what you always do, yeah? All of this inability of the NHS to cope now has been through 10 years of Tory and coalition and Labour government since the private finance bill went through. And what have I got here as well? I've just been doing some notes on this. Oh, apparently, just on the pandemic thing, an advisor to the government is former what's his name, Sir Patrick, somebody or other. Sir Patrick, anyway, he worked for, I think it might be Patrick Mayhew or something, but he's a drug company based CEO, worked for GlaxoSmithKline, major corporate drug manufacturer, GSK. So, quite how independent their advice is, I honestly don't know. But going back to Cygnus, that proved we couldn't cope. They've constantly underfunded the NHS, obviously, with the aim, as they always do, as I was saying earlier. You defund, then having defunded, service doesn't perform properly, people don't get treated, people die, waiting times go up, and you say, right, okay, let's hand it over to the corporate giants, and then suddenly everything gets better. But then you pay for something that you've already paid for in tax and national insurance, but you pay for it again. Yeah. So, not surprising that the NHS can't cope. People going on holiday, for crying out loud, just another one. 30, massive queue going down to Cornwall, yeah? Caravans and whatever. Are you mad? Are you absolutely mad? Do you actually want to kill off people like me? Yeah? You're absolutely mad. Completely and utterly mad, but again, part of the selfish asswipe culture that's become Britain, quite honestly. Selfish asswipe, that's what the Tories want everyone to be. Yeah. It's very difficult for them to tell the public to think of other people when they've been told constantly consume, think only of myself, get only for myself, consume only for myself, earn only for myself. There is no such thing as society. Remember, damn Coke again. Remember, that was Margaret Thatcher. There is no such thing as society. Suddenly we're realising that there is, and it's all very interconnected. But anyway, them aside, okay? Are we going to see this thing peak? I don't think so. I don't think the government will be ready with the ventilators that we need. What else have we seen? Well, we've seen, obviously, the morgues being erected all over the place, so obviously we're not coping even just with the dead bodies, yeah? The army being moved in at some point seems, well, I think we might get further intervention from the army, yeah? Oh, the other one that I saw too, before I forget, passport office workers being told they've got to go back to work. It's a death sentence, yeah? Just like for our public transport workers and everything who have not been provided with the kit that they need, the proper PPE, but go back to work, yeah? Or carry on working, yeah? Death sentence. I think in the end, because it's never been said otherwise, I think herd immunity is still the strategy. Apparently the post office, the passport officers office union said that they had some kind of streamed broadcast, yeah, and they were told that COVID-19 isn't going to go away. We all are going to get it. We need about 80% of us to get it, so they might just as well face up to it and get it now. We can't hide from it forever, yeah. So if you happen to be in a vulnerable group and you work for the passport office, your return to work is effectively a death sentence. Yeah, the government have just handed you the death sentence. If you don't go, then look at the 6-week wait to get universal credit, because you'll be regarded as putting yourself out of work. Yeah. Anyway, that's it, folks. Down prescription shopping and whatever later. Don't expect this thing to peak yet. I think the idea that they're going on about we might reopen schools and whatever is just a kind of a glimmer of hope thing. If they do take the measures off now, which for God's sake, I hope they don't. Yeah, again, it's a death sentence for a lot more of us. Yeah. Bear in mind that they are not reporting deaths outside of hospitals. We're now obviously hearing of large numbers of people dead in care homes, dead back at home, people being found dead alone in their houses. They got a special crew now they're going to be sending out with ambulance, paramedics, police, and they're not even going to require death certification. Yeah, it can all be done sort of online, boxes checked and whatever, because the well, quite simply, the people who registered the registry offices and whatever just couldn't cope with that number. Yeah, actually, as ever, it's a lot more serious than we think. The media are deliberately underreporting it, and of course, we have yet to celebrate the Prime Minister's return from hospital. We really must cheer that this man stayed at his post on holiday on some bloody Caribbean island somewhere where he'd fucked off to with his girlfriend. Yeah, but he stayed at his post. So we must now stay behind him. We must pray for him. Take care, folks. Stay calm, stay safe, observe the lockdown. I think I've just about managed not to go stir crazy yet, and I'm going out later on today. Bye.